place to cast a line. Here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey, you got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get, and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey, you got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get, and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome into The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weekends. This is The Breeze. I am Harrison Arns pushing the ones and twos. We got WWE, pro wrestling historians here with us, Haas and DP as always. Plenty to talk about. I'm sure Haas is excited. Probably one of the best storylines I think we've had. I'll let you guys talk about that more. You've known it longer. But nonetheless, Haas, how's it going, man?
Great. How you guys doing?
Can you hear me, Haas?
Mm-hmm. Can you hear me?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we're good. We're all straight here. I was just asking that. What's up, man? I'm sure we got plenty to talk about, but where do you want to start?
So, for the pay-per-view, if you just watch the first couple matches, I thought it was the pay-per-view of the year. So, if you took the men's Money in the Bank match, which I know the fans wanted LA Knight to win. I know DP doesn't think much of LA Knight. I thought Logan Paul would win. And then when I saw Priest's entrance, I was like, oh, he's going to win. This makes a lot of sense. There can go so many ways with this. The spots that they had, I don't know, does Ricochet have 5 or 6 broken ribs? Like the things that he did, like the ladders are supposed to break so that your body doesn't. And there's a couple bumps that the ladders didn't break. And so I'm sure it's all over the internet. I haven't read it, but from my own eyes, Ricochet's ribs are probably really broken right now. So there's so much that happened. DP, the men's Money in the Bank, the women's Money in the Bank, John Cena coming out. That was awesome. I think the one thing that they could have done differently is they could have actually given Finn Balor the belt and then really made Judgment Day the new number one faction if they're going to break up the bloodline. So that's one thing that came to mind. I think Dominic might be. Don't beat me up, DP. Dominic might be the number 2 bad guy in wrestling.
He's shaking his head over here.
It's just. I don't I want to I want to punch him in the throat. Is what I want to do.
Winning.
And I guess that's his mission, right? I guess that's his whole mission. I remove names from things to get to the quality of it, right? And if his name was Dominic Stevens, I would say he's a jobber who is the guy who comes in and gets beat up, right? And the only reason he's who he is because of his name. As a talent, if Rhea Ripley leaves him, he has no value. And if you take away the Mysterio name, he has no value. Like, it's just, as a wrestler, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, and somebody, they were calling, you know, she calls him Dom Dom, and I'm like, no, you mispronounce it. It's Dum Dum. Like, that's the proper way to move that. And I didn't understand what they were going to do with Finn Balor, because why put Finn in that situation to devalue the guy that you felt like was worthy of being the first guy to hold that belt, to not give it to him to do the thing that you could do with it, right? At some point, the faction breaks up. You just took away the great motivator and inspiration for it breaking up. Would have been Finn winning the title yesterday and then having, you know, Priest cash it in right away and go, screw it. You know, I'm here for the championship. Or whatever that was. Or maybe having Rhea Ripley, you know, fall on top. Like, it just, like, there's tons of things that could have been done. So I don't understand what just an outright loss does. I don't know what it means. I don't know what you're going to do. You didn't set up a rivalry with Gunther. I don't know.
Gunther's still in the gray.
Yeah,
I wonder. I mean, I know it's written out, but I wonder if they even kind of have it like this guy might not turn out.
Like, they don't know. Like, I don't know what you're going to do with it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If this is the reemergence for Drew McIntyre, I'm for it. Like, if you just you let Gunther hold the title just so that you give it back to Drew McIntyre, the new, improved, better, stronger, faster, more agile, more athletic Drew McIntyre. I'm there. But why didn't you do that with Sheamus? Like, you could have done that with Sheamus. So all of it, right? What are you asking me to do with Ronda Rousey? The most unique women's talent. Are you going to turn her face? Are you going to make her poor Ronda? Poor Ronda, you know. You're asking me to root for Shayna? You're asking me to root? You're going to try to tell me that Shayna Baszler is a face now? Right? With the black makeup around the eyes and the mouth guard with black teeth in the front. Like, wait a minute, you going to glam up her? Or are you going to bring in the 4 horsemen of women's wrestling? Right? And then make that happen. All of it. Like, I got caught with, well, what about Sammy and KO? Like, how were they not highlighted yesterday in full?
Man, you pick up the small things.
Well,
you're saying this. I'm not even thinking about all these plot holes in the story. Yesterday.
Well, because it's for, like, I'm looking at Money in the Bank and WrestleMania 2026, where it's Jay and Solo fighting for. Like, I also know that 2027 WrestleMania, it's the Paul brothers against each other for the Intercontinental Championship. Like, the other brother comes in, helps his brother win a chip. They become successful. He gets envious of him getting all the attention, and then he beats up his brother, and then they fight at WrestleMania, which sells more tickets than they know what to do with, and they make more money. Haas, what am I missing here?
So much happened. Like, there's so much that happened. We can go match by match, and I mean, I wanted to start with this and not even go match by match, and you already hit it. Who's the greatest manager today, right now in wrestling?
Rhea Ripley.
And that's, I mean,
Rhea Ripley.
it's not because of her looks, but she does a lot. She does a lot as a manager.
She makes Dom relevant. She makes
And
Dom
so-
relevant.
It's so hard with Paul Heyman. Hey, do you want your kids sitting at their table? Like when he said that and it got Roman Reigns to go, and we're not even going to talk about that match. We can wait 2 commercials to talk about that match because so much happened.
Yep.
But for Rhea Ripley, she makes it believable. It's like China 2.0, but she has a little bit more swagger to her. And so it's like I enjoy Dom coming out because I want to know what Rhea Ripley's going to do. So that's the best manager in wrestling. And so the Cody match. Cody is so over. He's so over. He's the number 1 good guy, and it's like, whoa, wait, Jay just did what he did. There's Sammy. There's Seth Rollins, but Cody is so over, and there's no way Dom could touch him. Dom and Ripley couldn't touch him. They couldn't do that. So that's how good Ripley is, and that's how good Cody is.
And no Brock. No Brock. What are we doing? Like I tried to make sense of, again, one of your top 4 events of the year. And if you make Damian Priest the Money in the Bank winner, to do what? To do what? What's he going to take on? He's going to jump into the bloodline. He's going to step above and be Seth's rival, but he can't do it one-on-one, and you need that slot in. But why Damian Priest?
I like it more. It's better than LA Knight.
LA Knight shouldn't even be in the conversation.
Yeah,
first
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad they didn't go that route. It seems like it seemed implausible that there's no way he's going to win it. But you looked around and like he was the only name really popping up. So I'm happy that with Priest. I think can go a few different directions. Like I'm not so upset about that.
But why not do that with Drew McIntyre, which makes all of it more interesting? Make it Brock Lesnar, and having Lesnar on a rampage for the next several months, just being indecisive and wrecking everybody, right? Because if you threw him in the bloodline conversation, that conversation takes off. Off. If you tell me that it's Seth and Brock again, I'm okay. But who does Brock get to beat up along the way? And you then you buried all of your NXT talent. You buried all of your NXT talent. This is Money in the Bank is where you can pop some of those folks. None of that was done. None of the women got through. And sorry, while Liv is fun to look at, I'm not interested in her performance.
I'm coming in. I don't know as much as DP, but this is a Zag because I'm reading the headlines, going through it, watching all the videos. And I'm like, it looked like an awesome thing. You do it over. You go to O2 Arena. Awesome turnout. Everyone's fired up. They're gonna think about doing it there again next year for sure. They're gonna have to because that was an awesome turnout. I didn't expect this Zag from you. You ever think about writing? You would go in the story room for WWE? Is that in the alleyway in the future?
Well, that's from decades of being on the road and being at hotel bars, listening to them talk about how the long game of pro wrestling works.
Yeah,
and how far along they set it up, but then they need a hoss in the space to remind them of what quality is, right? And you're never wrong about having an idea about using great people more. Like it's like the NBA picking. Okay, we're gonna put Austin Reeves on the box of NBA 2K.
Ramon Lloyd Jr. signing off.
Right, like you're gonna have. Oh, Tyler Hero is on the cover.
That'd be weird. If I got a Marcus Smart NBA 2K cover,
right?
I'd be like, he's good, but okay.
Yeah, but why? Like, wait a minute, I'm giving that back. Like,
I'll just get the digital copy. I don't need the physical.
But Hoss, am I wrong in that in a world of LeBron's, KD's, right? We know that Brock and McIntyre, like we know who the top, right? Lashley, who didn't even perform, right? And he's a little beat up. I understand that, and that's usually the story behind the story. Is there's
Injuries,
something
there.
Injuries are there, but even when he was healthy, now then the conversation, and so the story behind the scene is that he's not reliable enough to give the chip to because he's been hurt.
Okay.
Right. So that's some of the politics stuff that goes on beyond can they trust him to show up for big events and be healthy and be able to deliver. But the same can be said for Brock. If you really want to use that discussion, nobody wrestles fewer events than Brock Lesnar. So, but Haas, okay, so go with me here. What do you do with Bianca Belair and Asuka and Charlotte and Becky? What do you do with them?
I mean, they're missing someone. I wish they didn't cause so much turmoil with her a year and a half ago. But boy, with Sasha Banks coming back, would that change the women's division?
It didn't change it when she was here. Like I love the fact that Trinity's over on the other place, setting the fire. Her and Amber Moon setting it on fire. And you telling me that, Vega and company are better? Rodriguez, they're better than those three? Not a chance. That you literally took a title from Ronda Rousey and gave it to Rodriguez. Why?
Yeah, I'm against that one. I think Ronda Rousey's your best storyline for the women's.
Like I would, if they were smart, Ronda Rousey would be Brock Lesnar.
That's kind of vibe I get from her.
Right? Like,
she's the chick that you do not mess with.
Right? Like that would be the thing, Haas, that if you booked Ronda as she just comes in, beat people up and leave.
That's how I see it.
Right?
That's like how, because like with her UFC background too, it's real.
Yeah, like I need for her just to show up and go, like any of the other top stars of wrestling, Ronda just comes in, she goes, I don't care about titles, I don't care about matches, I'm just here to beat up women.
It's personal.
Right? And anytime Charlotte's wrestling, she just comes out and she just puts her in a bar and goes, yeah, and then leaves.
Just when everyone forgets, I'll be back.
Like just leaves. Or her and Asuka, and she just she takes her kicks and just stands there and flexes at it, right? That you could do that. Haas, I mean, help me, bro. I'm trying to figure out what it is what are they trying to do?
I mean, the beauty about Ripley is she can go and headline and she can put on women's matches. She can go and fight Rousey or Flair or Belair or the Man. You haven't done a lot with Ripley. She can also be a manager and not have an ego. So I think Ripley is the person that you have to start pushing more and more, which is why I wanted Finn Balor to win. So now we have Finn Balor holding a belt. We give Dum Dum a belt too. Maybe it's the one over Austin Theory. Austin Theory
the Romper Room title? You give him the Romper Room title? Is that what you're giving him? You give him the Lego World Championship?
The Nintendo 64 Championship.
Yes, you make him the what's the drink that comes in a bag? The little juicer.
The juice that comes in a bag.
Yeah, you punch a straw.
Capri Sun. Capri
Sun.
Oh.
Yeah, you make him the Capri Sun champion. That's what you're. Like he gets to come out and he wins, and then he drinks a Capri Sun, and then we all celebrate.
Oh my god!
Orange slices are thrown to the fans.
Yes, like it's like it's the full on. Like I don't. Again, Haas, let's go through the list of people who did not perform yesterday, who didn't even have a match.
Well,
Schedule.
the first one that sticks out is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who they had open up Friday Night SmackDown. Then naturally it was Asuka and Charlotte Flair who were on Friday Night SmackDown with Belair. So those five stick out. We talked about Sheamus. So McIntyre came back, which was cool. We talked about Lashley, Brock Lesnar. I don't know how long Braun Strowman's out, if he's out. I don't know what's up with The Fiend. I think McMahon's back. I know you don't like him, but he's still like, he's a popular guy. Who else?
I mean, London Waller got more airtime than Brock Lesnar at a pay-per-view. I just...
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
London Waller and Dom got more exposure than Bianca Belair, Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, Sheamus combined.
Now,
mind blowing.
Despite all that, I still thought it was the best pay-per-view in years. Could they have made it even better? Yes. Are they holding back the talent, hopefully, for the next pay-per-view? That's what I really hope. That's what I really hope. It's like we're holding these guys for SummerSlam. Maybe WWE's developed enough where, unlike AEW, they don't have to go and make every show a WrestleMania. That's the hope.
You're asking people to pay extra and top dollar for the event. Ringside last night was $2,100. So you're asking me to pay $2,000 and you gonna hold off on the talent and you do this once a month. You got one big event. It's like UFC. When they put a number behind it, they give you.
Yeah, you're getting a great card.
You're getting a great card, 15 deep. Every weight class is covered, male and female. Like it's up and down. Like if you get caught at a fight night, you might not get you might not get Lashley and Brock, but 289, we're giving you some people.
Yeah, and the UFC too, it's never hard to sell because that is a different kind of sport.
Right?
You can't walk in there hoping you don't win.
Yeah,
because you're gonna feel that.
Right.
You're gonna feel that.
Like it's there, right? So here's where I was with it, and I immediately thought of Haas when it happened, right? That as they came out and the lineup, I was curious about who they were going to put first. And I thought, if it's first, Logan Paul has to win. If it's the first match. The moment it became the first match, if you want to set the tone for the event, the first match in wrestling behind the scenes is that sets the tone for the entire day. The entire match is a storytelling, right? And the moment you do that, it made me think that Logan Paul got hurt, and we didn't know about it. Because that's the only way Damian Priest wins the. Like I now see, and I thought I'm like Haas. This is Damian Priest. Somebody's going to challenge Damian Priest for the suitcase, and win the suitcase. And then cash it in. It will not be Damian Priest.
So you actually think Logan Paul was hurt or something might have happened?
That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Okay, Haas, real quick, I'll let you get back. Then I want to get some of these text line numbers before we go to break.
There was a massive splash that he hit that the ladder didn't break. So him and Ricochet did some huge spots, and that, there was a lot less of Logan Paul than I expected. So you're onto something.
I do want to ask you, Haas, when we get back, because we have to go to break now, but you said when Damian Priest came out, you said you thought he was going to win because of that entrance. So I'm curious. I want to talk about that on the next break. A few more in here. Shout out to John and Cortland. Shouting out DP. It sounds like Friday was an awesome time. Enjoyed the 4th. Appreciate that, John and Cortland. You too. And then Bryce says Kevin Owens is the worst modern day wrestler. What do you guys land on that one?
We'll get to that when we come back.
We'll go to break here. This is The Breeze. I'm Harrison, pushing the ones and twos. We got professional wrestler, historians, Haas, and DP in here with us. As always, we'll go to break here and catch you guys on the other side.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Quick question. Where did the term dog and dogs in my life? I've never seen that. if we've ever seen just driving down the road, there's like, oh, there's 12 dogs on top of each other. So where does dog pile come from?
Well, that's a good question.
And that is a standard.
That's a good question.
If you say dogs pile to anyone, they know it.
Yeah.
It's dog pile. Never seen a pile of dogs. Never in my life.
I want to know where that comes from.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director and even my 7-year-old daughter, and more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You don't have a roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingcompany.com for more info today.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcnlincoln.org. Remember, we all do a little, we change a lot.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to The Breeze, and FYI, we are now on Royals on the FM airwaves. So again, if you guys want to watch the show, be sure to be watching the streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo, channel 951. Tons of ways to catch content. If you really want to watch ticket content all day long, that stuff's up at 3 a.m. on Twitch and Allo. So plenty of good stuff there. We'll have a lot of the Sunday shows repeating. Lloyd's and Lincoln was a great one. They did some TNT commentary, and it was pretty accurate, to say the least. And great stuff Bigger Than the Score. We had Phil filling for that one. And, of course, Inside the Huddle with Jay Foreman, that one's taken off. Every show just seems to do better, and there's a reason why. Jay Foreman knows what he's talking about. But with that being said, we'll get back to The Breeze. Haas, I want to get back to you because you said when you saw Priest on that entrance, you thought he was going to win there. And now DP, was not so sure. He might think there's a switch in the script due to some possible Logan Paul injury. what was your thought process in seeing that?
So, WWE does stuff to kind of give things away a little bit, and so they talked about Roman Reigns not being pinned in 3 years. So that was out a couple times on SmackDown, and so with that, it's like, okay, is Roman Reigns going to take a break? Are they going to break up the bloodline for real? Are they going to stop things? Well, if they do, they love having factions be the number one thing, and so they need a number one faction, and so with that, okay, the only way to do that is to elevate one. The problem with Priest and Balor and Dum Dum is they lose a lot. So the only way to make them the number one faction is to have them win. And so the way that Priest entered and remembering how he was a Bad Bunny and the match that he put on there, it's like, oh, I can kind of believe this. They're gonna have to put a little bit of a streak on him, but I can see this, and he just looked tough with his entrance. So that's why I was like, this actually might go to him.
I didn't. Sometimes you do the analytics that those things, right? All the boxes that are checked. Okay, this kind of leads us down this path. And Haas, I got that, which was a curiosity. But then I just went, but why? Like, if that's what you decided to do, like, I know that there are people in the back, and listen, Damian Priest is a great worker.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great worker. I put him in the category of the greats like Arn Anderson, right? Who, and he checks some boxes. He looks the part. He's a massive human being. He's a massive human being, superbly athletic. But they put him in, like, to me, it would have made more sense if it was Shinsuke. Like, if they put Shinsuke in as Money in the Bank, it would have made more sense because you didn't know if he was going to go good. Was he going to go heel? Was he going to go face? He crossed over. He provides a different type of matchup no matter who you put him against, right? And it's the thing you were doing with Asuka, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do it with Asuka, why would you not do it for Shinsuke?
They need Pat McAfee to back off ESPN and come back and then get on the table and start dancing. Then
yeah, like it was just a weird thing. So I didn't understand it. And then, again, I thought, okay, some folks got hurt. Maybe that was the thing that needed to be done. Okay, fine. Then you have Liv and Raquel Rodriguez, and again, why? Like, who are their competitors in the tag division on either side on either show? So you buried NXT, who has actual tag teams who work together and get used to working together, but no, you don't do that. And then, okay, you set up Ronda and Shayna. Okay, but why? And then is the intent to bring in the other two horsemen from UFC to make it worthwhile? Or are you bringing in other UFC fighters?
Mm-hmm.
Right? But you haven't built that up. Gunter and Riddle, don't understand it. Don't understand it. Didn't understand it. Can't understand it.
I hope Gunter never listens to the show.
Look, I'm not.
Snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't even understand what that is. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Like,
which has more girth? Which is thicker, Angela the sword, or Gunther's leg?
Right. Like, it's we need Rhea Ripley to take Gunter on leg day. And then but then okay, so if all of this was set up for Drew McIntyre, okay. Like, if he's just a placeholder for that, I'm good with that, right? Then you make the Cena, you bring in the Cena appearance. Spectacular, right? You didn't need London Waller at all for any of that. Just let Cena come out, pop it, done. If you're gonna do that Waller thing, do it with the Miz. Like, do it with the Miz. Don't do it with, like, I don't care. Like, London Waller, I don't care. I don't care. Women's Money in the Bank. Again, what are you doing with Becky what did you just do with Trish? You did all of that work with Trish. Trish versus Asuka sells. Trish versus Bailey sells. Trish versus Charlotte sells. Trish versus anybody sells. What in the wide world of sports are you doing with Io Sky? Are you going to take?
I don't know if it's just me or if everyone else left. When we come back, I want to talk about, I get Io Sky won and all, but we keep talking about Liv not looking the part. I'm not sure Becky looks the part. We talk about Gunther and his size. Why don't we ever talk about Becky? Becky doesn't really look believable against Ronda Rousey anymore. Ever since she had her kid, she doesn't look the part. And I know I sound like Matt Riddle's ex-wife, but Becky doesn't look the part. So, love to see what DP thinks on that. Well, in case it's just me on the air, we've talked about all this and we haven't even talked about the Civil War. The Civil War, the way that it started, the way that Roman Reigns was telling Solo, hey man, no. Tag me in. You didn't do anything. Tag me in. I'm the head of the table. I'm the champ. That just started a little bit more friction, which was interesting to see. Just going through the match, Jimmy and Jay getting in a lot of kicks, the spots that they had. Again, Paul Heyman with his faces and mannerisms and the way he motivates. I'm excited to see wherever the belts go. Is that where Paul Heyman goes? If Brock Lesnar ever comes back to the main event scene, does Paul Heyman go there? Does Paul Heyman join Solo? Interested to see all that. The story that came with it, I'm excited that there was no interference. I'm excited that it was a clean finish. I was excited that they gave the fans what they wanted for the last 3 years, and the disrespect that Jay had gotten in the beginning when he had to say, you're the tribal chief 3 years ago, to be able to get the pin. The way that they handled the spear and the Samoan spike and the kick out of that was awesome. That was electric. What a main event. What a main event. And I thought it was the best pay-per-view even without the main event. The main event in itself. Whew. Lots of goosebumps. Lots of unbelievable spots. hopefully DP and Harrison, you're
other Honda dealers.
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts and service teams are ready to serve you this planting season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
To the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're back. Haas, I appreciate you holding it down. I think I caught a little bit of the ending there. Had to cut you off, though, as we had to kind of get back on track. And again, apologize to our listeners out there. You know how it goes. Technical difficulties always arise at the worst possible moments. But nonetheless, we're all sorted out here. The breeze continues. And, to be quite honest, that was actually about a 5-minute break. So if we're being real, we didn't really skip too much of a beat. But Haas, as you were kind of sitting there breaking it down while we were gone, I'm kind of curious to know what you were talking about.
Yeah, I realized that I was on the air. So
only stream. I thought Merrill Waves recovered, but yeah, you were streaming solo for a little bit.
So DP, you're talking about Io Sky, and look, she was a huge, huge talent in NXT. I love what they did, putting two champions that set the table for the women's revolution, and handcuffing them. That was original. To handcuff them to each other, we've seen everything in wrestling. So to be able to give us something that we haven't seen, I like that. I mean, I know I wanted Trish to win. I said I wanted Trish to win last week. There's so much we could have done with Trish. But they gave us something new.
Well, and actually it wasn't new. They've done that with women. They've done that with it's been a big part of it, right? I mean, Flair and Dusty, and you go back to that era.
To each other in the ladder? Like, I mean, the ropes, yes.
Well, in the latter, giving us the thing that they haven't done, but why? Why those two? Why is Sky the Money in the Bank? What do you do with her?
She can go after Asuka. They can have a Japanese history going there.
I'm just trying to think, where in Middle America are they going to watch that with any understanding of what the hell's going on?
That's a
Nobody
good point.
better than Asuka.
Right, I mean, who's going to sell it? Who's going to voice it? Right?
Mm-hmm.
What storytelling? There's no psychology connected to it because they're not promoing.
Mm-hmm.
Asuka doesn't promo. She doesn't promo.
No.
She
doesn't.
We're just gonna show up and put you out there and say good luck, thanks.
Yeah, you better have something to bring. We better know who you are.
Right.
And right now she doesn't have that.
And if she was already at that level, okay, they had great matches in NXT. But you could say that about all the women on the program, that they all had great matches at NXT. That's how they got advanced. That's how they got moved through.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. But why now? Why her? Why them? Now.
Got to see what the storyline looks like ahead.
Yeah.
Because the pieces right now what you're saying makes sense. I don't know who's going to be like, hell yeah, sign me up. I need to go see those guys.
Yeah, if they were right down the street at the local high school gym, I would not
I'd ask for the ticket price and then
right, like
$5. Okay.
Right, like what are we doing? Right? that I don't know. You're asking me to go travel to an event, pay top dollar for it, and to be moved by it. That would bother me.
So when I was by myself, I brought up something that I was trying to figure out. I used to really, really like Becky Lynch, and I think Matt Riddle's ex-wife ruined it for me. She just broke the glass, and she said that Becky Lynch doesn't work out. Becky Lynch doesn't do any deadlifts. And I look at Becky Lynch, and she's smaller than Liv Morgan. And so when we say that Liv Morgan doesn't fit the part, Becky Lynch doesn't fit the part. Becky Lynch has changed how she looks. And so when you say Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch and all, and you got the size there and Ronda Rousey, it's unbelievable now to me. She looks like she's under 100 pounds. So
it's gone full AEW.
And so that's where I know I sound blasphemous by not having Becky Lynch on this pedestal, but she doesn't look the part anymore.
Well, I wasn't a Becky Lynch fan when she looked the part. Like I told you that. I mean, look, Hoss and I have had many private conversations about Becky Lynch.
Okay, tell one that could be a public conversation.
Well, no, my thing is I didn't understand it. Like, why would you make Becky Lynch the man? I didn't understand why people lost their minds over to begin with. Like I didn't. I mean, I understand. I'm going to take okay, Seth Rollins. You tell me she's the GOAT. Okay, I'm going to accept that. Because you're in love with her.
Yeah.
Like that's okay. As a performer, I mean, mic skills, no. In-ring performance, look, she throws herself around. Look, so the story behind it. So she used to be a rodeo clown.
Okay, yeah, here we go with the story behind it. I didn't know this.
Right? So I give her credit for a degree of toughness, athletic, and pure athletic ability.
Mm-hmm.
But she was it was supposed to be her and the young lady from England that has gone over and changed her name now.
Haas, help me out.
Doudrop?
They made the movie about her.
Paige.
Paige. So Becky was the fallback to Paige. Paige was supposed to be the one that carried the company.
Okay.
And Paige was the one who was a wrestling lifer from the time she was 9 years old to the time and they found her over in London, and she carried enough of it, right? So then all of the boxes that they checked from Paige, when Paige couldn't wrestle, they had Paige 2.0 and Becky. And Becky sold because people had leaned into the idea of these rugged little fighter chicks coming in and who could get through it. It wasn't about mastery of the sport. It was about presentation of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't understand. Like, you allowed her, you needed to cost something that made her on Charlotte's level. And the easiest way to do that was to take her dad's iconic name and say she was going to use it. So the man. Well, that's a Ric Flair, Charlotte Flair thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a Becky thing. It's a Becky thing because they needed to give her that credibility to be put in that space. And she's a great performer. Like, she got beat up, got a bloody mouth, bloody nose. She fought through it, etc. Like,
Why am I thinking about Nia Jax for some reason?
right. Because right. That she's taken a beating, and people appreciate that and have respect for it. But in that same vein, if you said to me, "Oh, who's the better wrestler, Paige or Becky?" It's Paige. Who's the better wrestler, Charlotte or Becky? Charlotte. Who's the better wrestler, Bianca or Becky? Bianca. Like, you could tell me through all it. And then if you said performer, well, none of them perform at Charlotte's level. And they could just make Charlotte the champ and make everybody chase her, and it wouldn't matter. From an athletic standpoint, Bianca Belair is elite in that space. Bayley, as a wrestler, Bayley did the thing, but Bayley became a personality rather than wrestler. So you have to deal with that. They're making these decisions, and I'm just trying to get some grasp for understanding. I understand why they made Becky. People just like Becky because Becky, it was the Daniel Bryan effect. They fall in love with the battler, the undersized battler in it,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go with it. Except Becky went Hollywood. Becky, she doesn't look the way she looked 3 years ago, right? And the game evolves. But if you told me, Haas, that Becky was wrestling Paige down at Lincoln High, I'd go show up. Just because I know the crowd would react to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why she's the man. I never did, and I never will.
Haas, thoughts on that?
She's done a lot, and diehard wrestling fans are going to get mad at me. If we're going to poo-poo on Liv Morgan, then right now I think Liv Morgan is more built than her. That's all. That's what I was really trying to get across.
Here's the thing. Do you care? Like, I didn't understand them giving Liv the strap anyway. Although I knew that Ronda wanted a break.
Yeah.
But why Liv? Okay, you pay her off for showing up and being a worker, but she's hurt. Okay. You they've never chosen Shayna, which I didn't understand. Because the best NXT run was Shayna.
Mm-hmm.
Shayna's NXT run was as good as there was.
Do you think they got her tucked away in the storyline, or is it getting too far ahead of her now?
I don't know.
Because right now I don't see a way.
Look.
But this is the most attention she's gotten in years in the main roster. So now they're finally going to give Shayna her belt. It's going to
and they're talking about it.
Do you think that that's the way it's going?
Yes.
Like you see that outcome happening?
Who does you understand the long journey that's going to be required to put Shayna in a ring with Asuka?
No, that's why I'm asking.
Two non-storytellers.
Yeah.
If you did it with Sky, again, Shayna carried it because she carried it in the same place. You sent Shayna to this weird dark place, and you got to pull her out to make her what people want to see. But the best Shayna is angry Shayna. Although some people have told Haas, you can wrap your brain around this. Some people have told the marketing people that they don't want angry Shayna. She's too violent. Right? Because it looks like she's actually breaking people's arms and shoulders.
That sounds like it's selling tickets. I don't know.
It sells tickets, but the broadcast people are like, I don't know if we want a woman who's literally breaking hands and fingers.
Teach their own.
Right. Well, but that's what they're trying to figure out.
Fair.
So, yeah, Haas. I want to hear Haas's next pay-per-view card though.
Yep, Haas. We got about 3 minutes here. Kind of wrap things up.
So I assume Roman's going to fight. So I hope he's not going to get SummerSlam off. You can get off after SummerSlam till Christmas. Fine. But he needs to fight SummerSlam. Is it Solo? And where does Paul Heyman go? So that's number one. Is it Jay? I think that's too soon. I think it's too soon. Could be Jimmy. Could be Sammy. Sammy, you started all this. I'm coming after you. It shouldn't be anyone else. It should be them. And that's the only match that matters. There's Cody Brock. There's Seth Brock, Seth Cody. There's all those other things we can look at. But the match that matters, the storyline with the Bloodline can go on for another 2 years. The homage to The Rock by Jay. The homage to Umaga. There's a lot in there, little storytelling. We could talk a whole hour, and then we should probably spend the whole next show talking about the main event. Because there's so many little details in the storytelling. Hey, Uso. Absolutely. Hey, Solo. You didn't come back and help me. You were not smart. You tried to go and make this about you by doing that dive through the table. And because of it, I got beat up 2-on-1. You cost us this match. You caused me to get pinned for the first time in 3 years. I'm taking you out.
Absolutely. I think Haas, we might need to just set up an entire hour next week and figure this out.
Well, it'll be Haas will be you next week. I'll be in Vegas.
Sounds good. DP in Vegas. Haas will catch up next weekend. And this has been The Breeze. That's DP, Haas. I'm Harrison pushing the ones and twos. Been an awesome Sunday. Great stuff. Go to catch it. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.